I'm very excited to say we're back at LEGOLAND Florida today. We haven't been here in about a year, so we're very excited to be back here. We're gonna be heading through the whole park. It is obviously Halloween time, so Brick or Treat is going on. We'll be checking out all those amenities. We'll be riding some rides with you guys. We can't ride everything with you guys, but we will be able to bring you on some of the dark rides and stuff today. But again, very excited to be back here. This is one of our favorite parks down here. We really love that it was built in the gardens and that they have that whole garden area, so we'll definitely be checking that out. But I want to say a big thanks to LEGOLAND for having us out today and giving us a mission for the day. So as soon as you come in through those front gates, since we've last been here, Sea Life has opened. We will not be going in there today, but we'll definitely return at some point to check it out. This is obviously a staple of the Merlin entertainment areas. We actually just recently were at the Sea Life at Icon Park, and we really enjoyed it. I've also been to the Sea Life when I was much younger over at the Legoland in California. But we're heading in. The first stop is going to be the Lego store over here that just recently reopened. So we're going to go inside and check it out. So I don't remember much of what was in here before, but I would say this looks a lot nicer. There's a lot more screens all around. They have a lot more checkout counters all the way over there. It smells very new in here, so I'm assuming they did a decent amount of painting work. But they have a bunch of displays on. There's Sonic ones, because I think these Sonic sets are new. I'm not keeping up with Lego as much lately, but they have a lot of displays of different sets you can buy all throughout the store. Again, looks a little bit bigger than it was before. It looks a lot nicer and newer. They even have the Fortnite stuff on display. I don't know if they're doing it for Halloween too. I know over the summer they had like a Peely meet and greet that I thought was hilarious, but we didn't make it out to that. I don't know if they're doing any Fortnite meet and greets, but we will check it out if there are, just because I think it's funny that those two have collided now. But there's some cool statues on this side. A big old Lego tree. Some small holes in it. There's also a sea turtle over here. So off to the right as you exit the Lego store is their coffee shop. That's the coffee company. And then they do have the Lego story in there that I think talks a little bit about the history of Lego. Over here off to the left is going to be a stage that's called Jam and Jacks. I'm assuming this is, it says dusk to park close, so I'm assuming we'll see this later in the day. We are here on a weekend. I believe, I will double check, but I believe they run all weekends. I'm going to check the dates though, to let you know what weekends they do run Brick or Treat. So it seems like weekends for Brick or Treat, or it's weekends through September 20th through November 2nd. So it's decent. It's a decent run time. Obviously over here is one of the candy stations you're seeing right here. They don't start until 2. Looks like it's 2 to 7 for the different treat locations. So just so you know, before you get here, they don't start until at least 2 for the trick-or-treating throughout the park. Here's a look at the carousel here. It's right here in the center of the park as soon as you come out through the street. Definitely one of the most popular things here. One of the reasons I'm excited to be back is the Granny apple fries. If you've never had these are a must get here. They're probably one of my favorite theme park treats, period. They do have a special version that is Franken fries that seems to be all like Dubai chocolate themed. Not my thing, but if that is your thing, they do have a special version of the fries over here. So we're going to be starting our day back here all the way towards the back right of the park at Lego Movie World. Doesn't seem like it's too busy this morning, but we're expecting crowds to come in later for Brick or Treat. So we're going to be cutting out a bunch of the rides and then doing more of the entertainment later. Obviously, Lego Movie Land is one of their newest spots over here with a lot of rides, including Lego Flight. But then off to our left, there is Battle of Bricksburg. Battle for Bricksburg is their Splash Battle water ride. I'm not going to be going on it. My father is going to brave the effects on this one because this can be a soaker. If you look along the track here, you can see the track throughout the water. There's a lot of water effects. This can get you very, very wet. So that is your warning. Obviously, it's hot out today, so some people might not mind. I'm not a big fan of getting wet at a park if possible, or I wait until like the end of the day to ride water rides unless there's something I'm really itching for. Boats just get pounded there. Obviously, if you've been keeping up with theme park news, you might notice that this looks closer to a Splash Battle, a little bit more in the mainstream now. over at Epic Universe at Fire Drill. But we'll be taking you guys on.
I'm taking it for the team.
I do think Battle for Bricksburg is a very fun ride. Again, it's a soaker. You saw what it looked like. I'm not a big fan of getting wet this early in the day. At least that's a personal thing. But if you're interested in a fun water ride, they have it here. But I will be taking you guys on the LEGO movie Masters of Flight. That is their flying theater here at Legoland.
Master Builder. It's gonna be awesome. Before we begin, I'd like to ask Walt to the number you're standing on. Make a mental note. Hey everyone, Evan here. Please be aware that we are about to present the triple-decker flying couch for the first time to an assembly of master builders. They may be unable to control their excitement. Fellow master builders, I present to you my latest invention, the triple-decker flying couch. Is everyone ready? Let the competition begin! Also, this will be the first time this vehicle has been tested in flight, so there may be some turbulence. Sorry! You're both getting over. I just finished rebuilding this place! We're eating a fun cooler and damn it! Get these people out of here! meaning of that song since we just managed to get it out of our heads.
So as you just saw, we rode Masters the Flight, or at least I did. I really like it. I think it actually is better than I remember it being. Movements are pretty smooth and match the screen well, so it's not sickening. Screen looks really good. It doesn't look pixelated at all, at least in my opinion. It looks nice and bright. I do like the animation on it. I think that also looks really solid. My only critique with the ride is I don't know why they didn't just get the original voice actors. I do understand they're probably way more expensive than some random voice actor they probably hired instead of Chris Pratt, but I do wish they at least got Chris Pratt, because it's a little weird hearing a different voice. Obviously, kids aren't probably going to notice, but I at least notice. But again, I thought it was an overall fun ride. It obviously takes place kind of like during, if not after, the second movie, because the Duplos are attacking, but then there's also characters from later in the second movie, but it also kind of resolves the Duplo conflict that all happened inside of the second movie. And obviously you can see this whole land is affected by that, with obviously Battle of Bricksburg being all Duplo themed. You can also see, I think that's the sister character from the second movie, and then there's also Duplos all around. One other thing I wanted to talk about first, they do have that play area that is Benny's spaceship in the middle, but then they also have Unikitty's Disco Drop that is just like a kid's drop tower and has a screen on top to show Unikitty that I think is really fun. So right as you exit Lego Movie Land, you head straight off to the right, and we are heading into the castle area that is currently themed to Creatures of the Kingdom for Halloween. You can see up there. So over here on the left, they do have a vampire hearse for Halloween. This is a buyable set, but obviously that's not the actual size of the set. They built a big one to show off. Over on our left is the Merlin spinners. They're just like one of those rides that spin you around on a track. Not really my thing, but if it is your thing, go for it. Obviously, this is a kids park, so you're gonna have a lot of flat rides and stuff like that. Though I always argue this park isn't just for kids. They do have some nice rides, and they're building a brand new coaster that we'll talk about later. Another treat location over there, exit gift shop. And on the right, there is the Dragon. Unfortunately, at this time, we were not able to film on any coasters, we were told, so we would love to bring you on, but this is one of the ones we will not be able to bring you on. But we're definitely gonna go ride it, because this is like the Legoland coaster here. Oh, we're gonna go ride the Dragon. Well, the only thing I can say about the Dragon is it is a classic. It is like the Legoland ride for me, at least in my memory. It's one of the only ones I remember riding out in California when I was younger and went out there. I think it's a really great time. It's remarkably smooth considering how old this family coaster is. And the dark ride sections through the beginning scene is definitely the highlight for me. But again, the coaster section's pretty fun for family and kids. I will say one thing I do not like and would love to see them replace it are the restraint systems on there. Not accommodating at all. If you are a bigger variety, you're just not even close gonna fit in the way those restraints work. Even if you're tall too, you're gonna struggle. Like I struggled a little bit more because my legs don't go out further enough. Because the lap bar is a little weird. It's kind of hard to explain. It like has a lap bar, but then it has like knee restraints that it's just not a good system for anybody that's taller or bigger. So that's something just to keep in mind. I would definitely check that seat if you're worried about it. But again, that's like a must ride for me here at Legoland is the Dragon. As we're heading out of this area, there is obviously the horse ride over here. That's also a pretty classic ride. We've ridden one of these before actually at Dollywood. We rode their bear one. That was quite funny, but obviously not the most comfortable thing for adults to ride, but kids love it, and I think it's a fun, like, kind of cheap family ride. So definitely check that out. So we're heading into the Curse of the Pharaoh area that, well, I don't think it's normally Curse of the Pharaoh, but right now for Halloween, that is what it's called. You can meet the mummy out here. Those are its current meeting times, obviously subject to change as always. That looks like a semi-permanent sign though. I think we are gonna skip the dark rides over here for right now. The storm clouds are already building, so we're gonna try to get in the wooden and the Great Lego Race. Obviously we can't bring you guys on those unfortunately, but again, I think we're gonna go try to get those in first, then come back to these in a little bit. So this is one of the things I did want to ride today, just because I haven't rode it the last couple times, is Coasterosaurus. That is the historic wooden coaster over here. I'm excited to get back on it. I will say this is quite the rough ride, but I'll let you know if it's any better than I remember it being from last time. Truly the shock of the day, I think, at this point. That was actually pretty smooth. It wasn't, I wouldn't argue it was like smooth, but it was not as I remember. I remember a couple years ago when I rode it, it being like insanely rattly and like so much that it like shook the brains out of you. They must have done retracking work. It does look like they did it within the last couple years, not super recent, but you can tell the wood on the actual train or actual coaster section and the supports are very different colors, so you can tell that they did do retrack work. So this was originally built by MV Rides all the way back in 2004. So that was when this park was still Cypress Gardens. So if you didn't know, Legoland used to be Cypress Gardens. Merlin bought it up in 2010. Cypress Gardens, I believe, closed in 2008. Merlin announced they were buying it, and then they ended up keeping the wooden. It originally opened as Triple Hurricane, but now it is Coasterosaurus. Originally, they did have Philadelphia toboggan coasters, but just as 2013, they do have GCI trains now. So definitely a better experience. They do make quite the noise, I will say. You probably heard it on the footage. I actually like the noise, but again, really shocked. They must have really done some retracking work on this because I really think it was a lot better than I remember it being. So definitely give this a ride. It's a small wooden, it's a little baby boy, but it's a great time. So definitely check it out if you're here. One thing I do like about this park is the amount of in-between walking areas they've added. So I feel like normally for a park like this, you would walk all the way around through the different Lego areas and then you'd have to walk all the way around. But they just have a walkway straight from Coasterosaurus over here to, I can't remember this part of the park. It's kind of like the future part, the Technics part. I think it's Technics. I don't know if that's officially what it's named anymore, but that's kind of the vibe. We're over here to ride the Great Lego Race. So we luckily got on the Great Lego Race. It is now starting to sprinkle. Ride's still running right now, but again, we want to make sure we get on those so we don't get locked out due to the rain that's coming in. It does look like it's going to be here for a while, but hopefully it will clear up later for like the drone show and stuff. So I was looking up some interesting history about this. I knew some of it, obviously. So it started off as Project X here. That was like a Technics themed coaster, rethemed in 2018 to the Great Lego Race. Originally was hit by the great virtual reality plague that happened to all the coasters and stuff, and that was very short-lived and now doesn't exist anymore. I did ride it when it was virtual reality. I thought it was a decent one, but again, I don't think any of the virtual reality coasters were great. They just all struggled with making people really sick and I definitely got that with all of them. Luckily, this one was one of those ones, it's just not that tense, so it just doesn't really make you sick. Interesting enough, when I was looking up history about it, this ride originally was located in Legoland Windsor, and it was opened back in 2004 under the name Jungle Coaster, was removed in 2009 due to local residents' noise complaints. So then they replaced it with the Legoland Hotel there. Then it was brought over here to Florida as Project X in 2011. So I just thought that was a little interesting little tidbit that I did not know. I will say one thing, I really wish they didn't trim as much on this. The trim brakes are really hold this ride back. I think this would be a really fun ride if it didn't just trim you. Like, I feel like after every drop, it literally just trims you. And I'm not necessarily a super against trimming, but it definitely hits pretty hard, and those brakes are pretty tight too, so watch that. But again, I really like this. I still think it's a fun family coaster, and I always like a good mouse. So hopefully I'll get some off-ride later in the day, but as of right now, as soon as I was done filming that, they did shut down due to the weather in the area. So we're gonna go ride some of the indoor dark rides now. So we made it back over here to the Lost Kingdom, and we're gonna go on Lost Kingdom Adventure over here. This is the shooting dark ride in the park, well, one of them, but this is the older, more classic shooting dark ride. But we can bring you guys on, so we're gonna be, it says 5 minutes. It looks a little longer than 5 minutes, but it just started raining, so it's probably causing some more people to come out this way.
We need to find Miss Pippin Wade first. She's here to help us. Let's go.
Hurry, hurry! Get the targets on the ark and get them out of this sticky weather. Wait, the creature is getting away. You must find them.
Where's he going?
Lost Kingdom Adventure, I mean, it's really just your bog standard dark ride. I really like it because of that. It is kind of a classic dark ride, classic shooting dark ride, those classic noises. It has a lot of moving sections that I do appreciate, and to my knowledge, everything in there is working, so it's great to see it being kept up with maintenance and nothing's, you know, falling behind, broken or anything like that. But again, I really do like this. I definitely think it's a must ride. I will say though, it does have some slow loading procedures, it seems like. So I would like to see them get a little bit quicker, just because it feels like it takes a while to load. But when you're actually on, riding the ride, it's a really fun time. As you head further down from Coasterosaurus, that you can hear on the right of us right now, you have Ninjago. This is a very small area, but it does have a very fun dark ride that we can bring you on with us. This is the second shooting dark ride. It's a pretty unique ride system. I think this was one of the first ever of its kind. It's a hand-based gesture shooting ride system. If you've ever seen or heard of the web slinger ride over at California Adventure, same ride system, but this is older. But I still think it's a great ride. Probably can't play it while I'm filming it for you guys, but it is a pretty fun ride. I think it tracks pretty well too. But we're heading back into Ninjago.
Ninjago. Come in, this way.
Well, we only waited about 8 minutes there for Ninjago. I honestly don't think it's crazy to say I think this is the best ride in the park currently. Obviously, people are gonna have different opinions, but I actually think the ride system on this works very well. I think it works a lot better than Web Slingers, because when I went on Web Slingers, I felt like no matter what I did, my webs were just going everywhere. This, I feel like I have much more control over it, though I will say this ride system is tiring on your arms, man. Constantly going like, the whole ride it's a lot, but I really enjoy it. I think it's a great dark ride. I think it's probably the best ride in the park currently, but I do think there's a possibility that it does get topped here soon with the new coaster. We'll talk about that shortly though. But again, don't miss Ninjago. I will say, I almost always feel like it's overestimated. They did bump it down to 5 minutes now, but again, I always feel like it is less than 5 minutes, like 90% of the time.
What about you?
I will say, man, that little sprinkle it did earlier and the sun's out, it has made it a muggy mess here at Legoland. Obviously, Florida weather, it's gonna happen, but it always sucks when it happens this early in the day, because now we're just gonna have to deal with the insane humidity for the rest of the day while walking around the rest of the park. So now we're heading towards the back of the park. This is normally where the boat ride is. It looks like they are doing some maintenance on it right now. But when I was younger, this was definitely my favorite part of the park. All the driving areas where there was the boat driving, and there's also the cars that we'll check out shortly. So I know not everybody likes to buy them, but I like to get souvenir cups. I think they're worth it. This was about $21 with tax. I'm not a pass holder here, so I didn't get any discount or anything on it. But I think it's worth it for the all-day refills. I personally like it. It depends on the park though, because parks without freestyle, I struggle a little bit more, but they did recently add freestyle machines to this whole park, and I like collecting the cups. Over here is the Rescue Academy. This is honestly probably one of the most fun rides in the park. It's more of an experience than a ride, but you basically get put on a team, your family, depending on how many you are. I think you have to have a minimum of 2 people. I think it's a maximum of like 4. What you do is you take the car and you drive it up to the pumps, and then you hit it against the pumps, and then you have to jump out of the car, take out the fire on your side of the building, and then you have to go back. So it's kind of a race type thing where you're racing to beat the other teams and doing everything. Off to our right is the junior drivers. So that's the smaller version of the cars, where it is for really little ones, like very little ones. And as you continue towards the back of the park, you do find the main driving school back here, obviously with the giant sign here. Have like a Lady Liberty statue back here. And you do have one of the main food options back here, the drive-in diner. It does have a special Halloween offering, the Red Moon Burger. So we walked all the way back here by the water park. As you can see, the entrance is over there to get the best view of Galactic Coaster. This is their brand new coaster coming in 2026. It is going to be a fully indoor coaster. Looks like a pretty big building too. You can see what I'm assuming queue line building is all along the front here, possibly pre-show. the main building back there for the coaster. They did have a press conference recently and they talked a little bit more about it. They did say, I believe each of these are gonna cost $45 million. We are getting one here at Legoland Florida, and they are also getting one over at Legoland San Diego too in California. I'm very excited to see what this ends up being like. This is obviously replacing the area where that flight school, old Vekoma Suspended was not too long ago. I believe they only tore it out about a year ago. But that was obviously where it was on top of the hill there, replacing it with a nice new indoor coaster. Again, I'm very excited for this. I love indoor coasters. I think this could be a star hit in the park, possibly becoming my favorite coaster in the park, or even my favorite ride. So over here is the jet ski water ride. This one's pretty fun. It's not really a water ride. I say water ride very, very lightly. It doesn't really get you wet, but it's kind of a fun spinner. I relate it a lot to kind of like the Space Ranger spin over at Hollywood Studios that is back in Toy Story Land. Very similar feel. You like kind of swing out and then come back in, swing out. There's some fun like interactive geysers over here, but they don't get really the ride wet. I feel like it used to be more wet, but they toned it down to be a little bit closer to like just a fun ride on water. And right across from the Great Lego Race where we were just earlier is the Ferrari Build and Race facility. So this is actually what we came for last year, and the last time we were at the park was for the media event for this. It's a pretty fun kids area. We're not gonna walk in right now, but I will link you to that video from that media day. It's an area for kids to go in. There's a big old car photo op at the front, and then you can go in and build a car to go down a bunch of tracks, and I think there's a loop one, and then there's a bunch of racing ones and stuff. Really fun area for kids. Definitely a good area that they can cut down, or you could take a relaxing while they go crazy with the cars, because it is well air conditioned and inside with some seats. So if you're looking for a spot to cool off, definitely check out the Build and Race over here next to the Great Lego Race. As we continue down the walkway from where we just were over in the Technics area, we head downhill into Miniland. I love Miniland, and they did something so great recently that you're seeing right now. They put covering over all of Miniland. So now if it's raining or it's super hot, you know, it just in general is a better experience over here in Miniland. But we'll do a quick walkthrough. I'll point out fun stuff. In general, just walk through Miniland. Again, I'm a big fan of this. Again, I love the covering they did in here. It's gonna help a lot. They didn't just do it to help with viewing. Obviously, that's a big part of it. Makes it a lot cooler in here during the summers, but it also makes it so when it's raining, there's a big area where people can still enjoy the park. And as you can see, it is completely covered even in these in-betweens here. Definitely the other reason they did it too was just to help with the sun bleaching on these buildings. They already have to repaint them pretty often. Just Legos don't really hold out in the sun. They're just plastic bricks. So it's definitely gonna help with the sun bleaching a little bit throughout the time, because the sun will no longer be just sitting on them. So here's the Kennedy Space Center over here. We actually were here recently. We really enjoyed it. And they do have a rocket ship that's gonna shoot off here in just a moment, and we'll check that out when it does. I believe the back area is all NASCAR and car racing. We'll walk around here in just a moment. They've got Vegas, they've got New York, they've got a lot of the major cities all around. So there is a lot of interactive stuff with Miniland, buttons all around that do different things. So there's a kart race over here. Don't know if it's working right now, but it does, really, maybe it is. Hold on, we're about to see. Oh yeah, there it goes. But there's a bunch of interactive stuff all around. And then here you can also see, they do some holiday decorations for both Christmas and Halloween around Miniland. See little jack-o'-lanterns all around the stadium. It's the Daytona International Speedway. I should have known that. Not a big car racing person. But if you've ever been there, it probably looks pretty similar to what you're seeing now. As the rocket's about to go off, I did just mention it's some cool details here. You can actually see the crawler. I believe we saw Crawler 2 when we were at the Kennedy Space Center, and it was really cool. Cool little show they do there. Over here is Miami Beach. We've been there too, not on camera, but I've been there a couple times in my life. It's a nice area. And I do like, again, one of the things I think Miniland does so well is all the cool interactive stuff and just stuff moving. It's like the boats moving throughout the water and stuff. It's not just still, there's stuff going on. I thought that's what it was. Back there you can actually see a full Clock Tower Gardens over here. The full tower. I definitely want to visit there at some point. Let us know if you're interested in seeing that. So we would like to go see it at some point. It's pretty nice gardens. I don't think I've ever been there. I've been around a lot of the gardens here in Florida, but not quite that one. Over here you have a small area that's all St. Augustine themed. I believe all the buildings back there are also supposed to be St. Augustine, but this is the main fortress. And again, we have been to, but again, not on camera. Want to make my way around Florida at some point. Give you guys a little bit more to look at and stuff like that. This is the Florida State Capitol building. Never been there, but I guess this is probably what it looks like. And right behind that, obviously you have like the not really anywhere, but just pirate themed one. So they have some cool pirate ships over here shooting at each other that I think is super cool. And again, right now with it being Halloween, they have some ghost and witch hats and stuff all around the area. You even have some smaller things. It looks like some zombies and stuff down there. All throughout the pirate area. Don't know if these boats are normally here, but this is definitely like a ghost ship. That's kind of cool. I actually really like how that ship looks. Over here, I don't know if this is supposed to be any specific mini golf. I think it's just supposed to be kind of a nod to all the mini golfs around the central Orlando area. There is a lot of golfs around the central Orlando area, if you didn't know. Go fishing. Oh, hey. Pulled out something. I don't even know what that is. It's kind of small. As you see right across the way, we actually see Icon Park. We were most recently there, actually. We were there for a media event for their Halloween event over at Sea Life, but we also saw Madame Tussauds for the first time, and we did go on the Icon wheel that you can see right there for the first time. Pretty big central area here for DC. Memorials all over the place. Capitol building, all that good stuff. This is all of the Georgetown Canal over here. And again, you see more of those Halloween decorations over here. A little haunted house decoration. There's also another vampire and witch over on that big building in the back. Over here, we do have the White House, obviously here. And the whole kind of central DC area over here. Here's a better look at the top half of the larger Washington, D.C. area. They've even got some decorations on the Capitol building. That's one of the big marching pieces over here too. This is one of the coolest views though, just from the Capitol building back at all the memorials, like the Lincoln Memorial back there. Looks really nice. Straight across the way from the whole Washington area, it's going to be San Francisco over here. Oh, there's a water effect over there spraying again. See the Golden Gate Bridge in the back, a pier over here, and then the very iconic hilled apartment buildings over here too. Those different neighborhoods going on. And there's that like iconic drive, I can't remember its name. Somebody will probably say it down in the comments. But where it's like the swerve or the curved roads going all the way down because it's so steep. Another pretty cool area. I did want to mention stuff about Miniland. Depending on which you go to, like which Miniland you go to, it will vastly depend on what they have in that Miniland. So obviously ours is very US centric and the other ones in the US are pretty US centric with a couple different spots. But obviously if you go to the ones in like Britain and stuff, they might have New York, but they're gonna have more historical sites from there. Here is Hollywood Boulevard and the Chinese Theater. I've been there, actually fairly recently. Here's the big orchestra. Then there is the, oh, that's funny, I didn't even notice, Legowood. There's the observatory up on the hill in LA. As you head up from LA, I definitely am sad this is the saddest part of Miniland for me. If you had been here in the last few years, you would have known in the past up here is where the whole Star Wars area was. So they had a giant Hoth, a giant Mos Eisley. It was really, really cool. Unfortunately, they lost, I think, licensing with Disney at some point and had to take it all out. So that's really unfortunate because it was a super cool area. My personal favorite part of Miniland was the Star Wars area. And as you just saw, next up is New York. This is definitely the most impressive part of Miniland. It is the New York's landscape because it's definitely got the biggest buildings. These buildings are significantly taller than me. Like it's hard to put into words how big these are on a Lego standard. Obviously you see more Halloween decorations. Another vampire on the building there. But it's really cool to see such big buildings being made from Lego. There's Grand Central Station. That one's got a cool indoor area too. Another ghost on top there. And like car carousels. But again, just a really cool area overall. I think this is the most impressive part of Miniland though, just the sheer size of the buildings and the landscape over here. I could be wrong, but I believe this is also supposed to be the Central Park Zoo over here. I feel like I know the Central Park Zoo mostly from Madagascar, to be honest. I would love to go to New York at some point, maybe one day. Over here it does look like they're doing some fun building with the kids to build jack-o'-lanterns for Halloween. The sign next to it says that they're building to add it to a giant pumpkin patch. So a bunch of kids will build it and add it to a giant pumpkin patch that they're gonna build. So we found Vegas over here. Another place that I really want to get to here soon. Mainly because, obviously, Permanent Halloween Horror Nights is there now, but also, I don't know if I've ever talked about it on camera, I'm a massive Malwolf fan. I've actually never been to one, but the vibe of Malwolf is 100% my thing. It's just, if you don't know it, I would go watch a video on it. Malwolf is super, super cool and unique. I think it is one of the coolest things that has been built in recent memory. I love them, and I really want to go to the one in Vegas specifically because Omega Mart looks like it's one of the best ones. Though one of the ones in Texas also looks like it's pretty good, the original. And as we continue down, see more casinos. There's obviously the iconic Sphinx Pyramid over here, the Luxor. And there's a whole sandy area for out in the desert over here too, with a Las Vegas sign out in the distance. So that's about all that's in our Miniland right now. I would love to see an expansion in the future, just because it's only lost, not gained anything in a long time. I would love to see that area up top where the old Star Wars area was be used for something else. It could be really cool to build a mini version of the park. I don't know if that's in any of the other Minilands, but building like a mini version of Legoland up there, specifically ours, or maybe you have enough space where you can build mini versions of like 2 or 3 of the other Legolands, maybe the 2 or 3 closest to this one. That would be really cool. So I'd love to see some changes come to Miniland, but again, I love this part of the park and I think it's a must-see when you're here. As we're walking up over here, first thing we're gonna come up to is the spinning disco. Right there, that's all themed to the Friends section of the Legoland IP. If you know Friends, it's one of the children part of Legos. But it's a nice disco ride. I don't really like disco, so I'm definitely not riding it, but it is there if you're interested in it. Over here, they do have a pizza and pasta place that is an all-you-can-eat. It is $16 for children, $24 for adults. So if you're looking for something a little bit more hearty, maybe a single meal that you know will fill you up, they do have an all-you-can-eat pizza. And as we're finishing our lap here, approaching Carousel, there is the Legoland Funtown Theater. It shows a few different shows. Right now it's showing City 4D, Friends 4D, and Dreams 4D. So a few different shows in there. They do show different shows at certain times. It's not like one show for like 3 hours and then the other one. Oh, here's the times over here. And I do believe they switch these out pretty often. I remember there being a different one other than the Dreams one when we were last here. You can see the signs here that are currently posted. But I do like that they kind of like space them out during the day, kind of allowing you to pick and choose which ones you want. So we took a small break, ate some food, but now we're back over here at the front of the park with the apple fries. This is one of the big reasons I was excited to come today. I love these things. So we're gonna eat these, but then Halloween stuff has started now, so we're gonna go check all that out after we eat these. Alrighty, so I ate those apples and obviously they were wonderful. That is a must-get treat if you ever at any Legoland, because I think they have them at all of them. At least in the States I know. They have them out in California and here, so at least at those two locations. I'm gonna take you guys around and we're gonna be showing off some of the brick or treat stuff. And of course, nothing like a grown man going to trick or treat at Legoland. So that's what I'm gonna go do. First station's right off here to the left. A little bit after you walk in past the Lego Story, the coffee company, and you'll see it off to the left side here. All right, hit the first treat stand. Not a bad little handful there, considering it's included with park admission. There is, I believe, 7 different trick-or-treat locations around the park, and I'll be showing you all of them, hoping maybe we can catch a couple characters on the way by. Obviously, as people that may watch this channel know, I don't really care for characters. It's not my thing, but I will be showing them off if we can catch them. Then obviously, stay till the end of the video. We are going to be watching their drone show tonight. That is their big drone. I think there's also fireworks, so I'm excited to see what they do. I don't think we've seen a drone show here yet. Second location though, is just right up to the left of the carousel, right after you came into the center area. Thank you so much. The other thing I would also like to mention, since we're here talking about Halloween, there is a Time to Learn About Halloween event that is recommended for 2 to 6 year olds over here in the Dupuy Valley Schoolhouse. That is right up to the right side of that carousel, right after you come in. So it actually looks like we just missed it this morning, and we just missed it just right now. They just said it 15 minutes ago. But it seems like kids can come over and actually help build the giant scarecrow. Probably they have a couple master builders out here helping them make the shapes. Eventually, hopefully by Halloween, the scarecrow will be done. Our next treat station is going to be in the Duplo Valley area, the kind of really little kids area, right off to the right before you get into Lego Movie World, over here under the awning. Looks like over here they also do have a candy corn scavenger hunt that it's going to be all just throughout Duplo Valley, and then if you complete it all, you do get a prize. I don't think I'm going to be doing that today. It is about to end. It's almost already 5 o'clock, but if you're interested in doing that, you pick it up here where the third treat location is. Well, I managed to find quite the line, but the next treat location is going to be over here in Kingdom as you head back towards the back side. It is under the underhang there, but I have a little bit of a line here. It does look like a dance party somewhere over here. It said the Kingdom stage. I'm not sure where that is. Maybe it's a little bit outside of this area, but we'll try to find that. But it should be starting here very soon. Unironically, probably the longest line I've waited in all day. It was like 15 minutes. The vampire show is happening right outside the castle, so I'll catch a good clip for you guys. Sorry, it's really loud.
Hello, Brick or Treat, and welcome to my exclusive party. You are all very important monsters then, aren't you? All VIMs would surely be louder than that. Are you VIMs? That's ghoulishly great. I am your host, and your spine, shrinking skull will shock your soul, seal your feet, and shudder in surprise when you hear these zombies shriek. Hey, those arms! Now do the zombie walk. So sorry, skeletons, you're so misunderstood. Great job! Go crazy! Very good, monsters. Now let's keep this party going with another terrifying tune. It sounds like some Lego bats are trying to ruin our dance party. They better not catch us moving. So, when you hear the music, just dance like normal. But if you hear the bats coming and I say freeze, you must hold very, very still. Stairs. Freeze. You're very good at this. Now dance again.
Well, pretty fun little show there for the little ones. Definitely full of copyright music, so I couldn't show you much, sorry. It is still going on behind me. It does seem like it's pretty interactive, and I think having the character up there is pretty fun. I didn't expect him to actually talk, so that's definitely a plus. But again, if you have little ones, I think that's a good spot to stop. Obviously, there's a lot of character meet and greets. I'll try to show locations as we walk around, but if I miss a couple, sorry. Oh, and we're in the Pharaoh's Cursed Lands, where we were earlier. Lost Scheme Adventures off there to the right. But our candy stand, that somehow doesn't have a line. I don't understand why that one over there had such a long line. It's just off to our left as soon as you enter. And right here at the end, it does look like they have some characters interacting with some kids, messing around. Looks like some lost explorers from the kingdom. I think I did point this out earlier, but over here by Coasterosaurus, there is Ghost up in the tree. That's one thing I really like about their Halloween event. They kind of rename each area to fit with a Halloween theme. So like Lost Kingdom is now like Pharaoh's Cursed Lands or something like that. They all have like kind of a Halloween overlay, but then they put decorations everywhere. I think super nice. Again, obviously all Lego themed. But I think it's nice that they do all this. And obviously it's all just included in your day admission. These actually look pretty good if you're a fan of pumpkin spice, that unfortunately I'm not, but they have the Jacko bites that are tossed in pumpkin spice sugar and served with a side of creamy salty caramel dip. It's all served also in a souvenir pumpkin head. You can actually see it right on top of the machine right there. It's not a super big one, but if you like that kind of thing, if you like pumpkin spice, I imagine that looks pretty good. So just something to keep out for if you're coming here soon. Our next spot is going to be right past Ninjago as you continue to walk down the way from Coasterosaurus. As you enter Lego City, just right off to the left side here. Again, no line. I really don't know what was up with that Kingdom one being like 15 minutes long. And then everything else is like walk up. Must have just been the crowds were stagnant kind of in there. As I was waiting over there, the Lego Plant Monster came out for its first meet and greet. Its meeting are currently 5:15, 6:15, 7:15, but it does look like that is a removable sign, so don't take those to heart. I would definitely be double checking your meet and greet times while you're here. I would always say that, period. You should always check your times for everything. Don't trust what this is, because sometimes things do change. It's a pretty fun meet and greet, and that's right off to the right side of the Ninjago entrance. As I was walking by, it's probably not super great angle, but there's a really cool brand new sculpture down there of like a mad scientist. Very colorful. I always love to see the new ones just because they haven't been sun bleached yet, so they always look really great. Riding through Technics now, you can go around, but last one will be in the Shipwreck Cove area. Alrighty, and then our last trick-or-treat spot is as you exit Technic from the way I'm going. The last treat spot is just down the path here with all the pirate flags towards Cypress Gardens, and if it is open, I'll take you guys through Cypress Gardens too real quick. Well, definitely one of the best looks over here is over the lake. We will be out here in just a little bit for the 8 o'clock Monster Sky-tacular. But I thought we'd walk down here real quick. I don't know if Cypress Gardens is open at this point. I know they usually close it early, a little bit late in the day, but if it is still open, I'll take you guys for a quick walkthrough, and then we will be seeing the nighttime show after. All right, looks like we're still clear to go inside. It does say Cypress Gardens will close 30 minutes prior to park close or it being dark out. So I would say it's probably gonna close 7:30. Park closes at 8 o'clock tonight. But again, they try to close it a little bit before dark so they can kind of clear it out and nobody gets lost back here. But we'll take a quick walk through Cypress Gardens and I'll let you guys know some facts about it as we walk through. So as I mentioned earlier in the video, Cypress Gardens was what Legoland here used to be. So Cypress Gardens was a park that was like kind of a more gardens, obviously, but they ended up turning it kind of more into a theme park towards its end day with a few more rides, including Triple Hurricane that we did ride earlier as Coasterosaurus. Then it closed, and then Merlin actually came in, saw it, bought it up, and kept the whole gardens that is still back here for you to still wander. I really appreciate that they kept all of it, and that's one of the reasons this park is so well foliaged, is because of Cypress Gardens. I mean, it's really pretty out here. It's really quiet out here too, so we should have a pretty nice walk through. As you can see down there, you can see the waters that used to host like just a garden tour, but now it does hold the pirate ride that unfortunately was not open today. I don't think it's been open since August. I don't know the reasoning. I don't know if it's just they don't have it open for that period of time for weather or something going on, but it was not open today, unfortunately. There's even a little rabbit back here. Here's one of the cool looking features back here. This is the chapel gazebo. I don't know why I'm talking so quiet. I'm the only one back here. I don't know, something about being in the gardens makes you feel like you gotta be quiet. But this was one of the original parts of Cypress Gardens. Of course, the Legoland bench back there. You can see some of the water park as we're walking back here, but I thought I'd also mention, I totally forgot. My bag is very full, so I hit those 7 treat locations. They give pretty decent handfuls, so you can only do 1 lap. Obviously, some kids will want to do multiple, so that's a fair warning to you parents, but you do get basically a full bag from that 1 lap, so it's not too bad. We made it to one of the back corners of the gardens with a few statues back here. Again, these gardens are really pretty. If you are coming to Legoland Florida, I would highly suggest coming back here at some point in the day. It doesn't take super long. It's probably about a 15-20 minute walk through. It's worth your time. It's very historic, and it's kind of the lifeblood of this whole park. This park wouldn't be in this location if it wasn't for Cypress Gardens laying that groundwork. As we're walking further back, we do come across the tree that's been growing here for a very long time. I don't remember how long, and I don't remember what the tree is called, so forgive me. I don't see any signage for me to try to act like I did know what it was called, but it is obviously beautiful and huge. Oh, it's a banyan tree. Okay, well, I can see it because it says don't climb on it. You can see actually a lot of wiring work done on it to try to keep it up as much as possible. But just the sheer size of this tree is crazy. Like, that could be a whole tree on its own, and it's just growing off of this one. It's so crazy. I did find a sign on the back end. It does say that this was brought here by Dick and Julia Pope in 1936, and originally was placed just in a 5-gallon bucket and delivered to this location with a wheelbarrow. Crazy to think a 5-gallon bucket ended up being this. Though it's only about 11 years from recording this, being 100 years old, so I mean, it makes sense. It's been here longer than almost anybody alive at this point. Another statue right over there. Here's a better look at that canal where the current pirate ride is. So you can see there's some skeletons over there. Walking over a bridge to it. Then just right down here is the lakefront overview. So here's the lakefront overview. Normally I would be like, wow, what a good drone spot. But first, trees are blocking a whole lot here. But also the other thing is the drone shows are very like one facing. You want to make sure you're facing one direction. The other cool thing about this lake is there's actually just public boats on it, because this whole lake does have houses all around it. So there's a lot of families and stuff that come boating out here, so you'll see it all the time. If you're walking along here or watching any of the shows out on the lake, you'll see people just boating by. Some will even come boat, I think, next to the buoys and watch like the stunt shows and stuff during the summer. I think it's fun. Well, we're walking back to the front of Cypress Gardens. Again, I can't heavily suggest you come in here enough. Even if you're not a big fan of the gardens, again, it's so historic to this property and even pretty historic to the Legoland property now. So definitely go check it out when you're here. Again, it's only about a 30-minute walk around max, even if you're taking your time to read signs and stuff. A lot of stuff I didn't show you too, so definitely go check that out. If you're wanting to see more Cypress Gardens, it's going to be included in our walkthrough, our updated walkthrough of this park that I'm about to go do right now. But then after this, we are heading back to watch the Monster Skytacular back here along the lake. I'm very excited to see what they do. I don't think I've seen a drone show here yet, so I'm excited to see a drone show. I love drone shows, so curious to see what they can do here. So we'll see you about there.
Lord Vampire speaking. It has been another wonderful brick or treat. Now, all that's left is to throw the biggest, most exciting Monster Skytacular! Monsterata, can you hit us with some jamming music? Ready to rock! Then Wacky Witch, with a little of your magic. Wacky Witch!
Yes, let's take a look.
Great! Engage the robots, hit the tunes, cast your brightest spell, and let's take this monster party to the sky! Was waiting for an invitation to arrive. And to take this monster party up to the sky! The energies of Latin up above the street. The music is blasting here at Triple Street. It's the party. Who's asked for more? Everybody's rocking with those moves out on the floor. It's a monster party.
Look at my creation! So buzzworthy! I'll call you Fly Monster! Making monsters is my absolute favorite. Let's make some more! A plant monster? Interesting! And for the grand finale, I've saved the very best for last. It's the perfect monster.
That was wild! Now, let's make some rockin' music! Try the drums! My favorite! The electric guitar! They rocked! Give yourselves a round of applause!
Finally, my broom's working! Woohoo! Look at me go! Wait! That's not candy! That's my cat! You get back here right now! No! Not that way! Wait a minute! Slow down!
What a thrilling monster skytacular! And we've saved our favorite monster party song for the end! So, all you monsters, sing along! Thank you for joining us. Now, enjoy your candy and party on, monster friends! LEGOLAND Florida Resort!
Well, that concludes our full day here at Legoland Florida. A really great day overall. I will say I haven't sweat like this in a while. Did that little sprinkle in the morning, sun came right out and made it miserable here today. Obviously, nothing the park could do, but it did make it really gross out for us, and we did a lot of walking. I did over 10 miles. Doing that in like 100% humidity, not a great time. I was actually really hoping it would rain just so it'd cool it down a little bit, because it was so bad out. I mean, it's still super muggy right now. But talking about the nighttime show, obviously you saw some walkout video too of just some of the nightlife that you'll probably see more towards Halloween as it gets dark earlier. But the nighttime show, I actually was really glad we stayed. That was a big shock of the night. I thought it was really great. I thought the drones were actually utilized really well. I liked that the character's mouth moved. The viewing angles on them were really good because we were kind of off to the side. Still could see it perfectly. Fireworks were really good. Music was good. It had good interactivity for the kids. I thought that was a slam dunk show. So I was really glad on it. I think the storyline was cool. I thought the characters were fun. So definitely don't miss that if you're here. Go sit. One suggestion I will give though, just so you know, there's a lot of bugs on that lake. Like, we were getting eaten up by bugs on the front row. So maybe sit towards the back, or even bring bug spray if you're worried about that. I will just warn you, bugs everywhere. I mean, it's a Florida lake at night. What do you expect? But just a fair warning. But otherwise, our day was great. We got on everything we wanted to ride. We got to walk around the park multiple times. I got to take lots of pictures. We did lots of videoing and content for you guys, so stay tuned for more stuff coming up soon. Full POVs, walkthroughs, and all of our shorts content over on TikTok, YouTube, and all that good stuff. But I want to thank you so much for watching at this point. I hope this video brought a little bit more joy into your day, and we'll see you guys next time.